Fox 5 and Hot 97 present Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers.
I'm so glad you're joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on music's changing landscape. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. The music world is evolving and bringing changes to artists, creators, and fans. There's much more choice for fans as artists take their careers in bold new directions, influencing the culture along the way. Superstar Rihanna is known for her unique voice and genre-mixing hit songs. Her hugely successful Fenty beauty line made her a billionaire and a huge cultural force.
I can do it with a broken heart.
Taylor Swift is another chart-topping superstar with hits across different music genres. So popular, she makes news headlines.
Go, shorty.
Hip-hop artist, media mogul, and entrepreneur 50 Cent keeps his fans talking with his salty social media posts. They're prime examples of how music celebrities are often better known than many A-list Hollywood stars.
These musicians, thanks to social media and the rapid virality of some of the trends that some of these musicians are helming, they're not just moving the needle. These musicians are the needle, and they're actually poking holes in some instances in specific genres and these neat boxes that we've kind of all been in. And they're saying, no, we're not going to be neat. We're not going to be quiet. We're going to be here in your face. And the culture, the fans, they love it.
For new artists, there's more competition to get to the top than ever before. Music data service Luminate estimates that in 2024, 99,000 new songs were uploaded to streaming platforms every day, adding to the roughly 200 million songs already there. Streaming executive Joshua J1 Raiford says choosing songs for his Pandora streaming service and Sirius XM channels depends on several factors.
And the first thing I'm going to obviously listen for is just the overall sound. Does it catch my ear? Is it something different? Is it something that I feel like would fit on one of the playlists or stations on Pandora or Sirius XM? Then the next thing I'm looking for is, okay, what's going on with this artist? What's the story behind him or her? Do they have a plan? Is this part of a rollout?
On the creative and production side, multi-platinum music producer Amadeus says the current landscape is characterized by an upbeat energy and a mixing of various instruments and beats.
So I feel like sampling is here and will always be here to stay. And it's just kind of cool, just to see the different styles and sounds that are happening. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of dancing going on. It's a lot of celebration. It's good to see the energy and where it's at today.
Let's take this to our panel and see what they have to say. Joining us is Joshua J1 Raiford. He's the Vice President of Programming for Sirius and Pandora. J1, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Also joining us is Asia Grace. She's a lifestyle reporter for the New York Post. Asia, great to have you back with us.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Also joining us is multi-platinum music producer Amadeus. He's worked with some of the biggest names in hip-hop and pop, from Chris Brown to Trey Songz to even J-Lo. And he has now earned his PhD. And so we can call him Dr. Antwan Thompson as well. Congratulations on it, Amadeus.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. So, Dr. Thompson, let me start with you on this. For the year 2025, what's happening in terms of music sounds? Is there anything new that you see going on or kind of bubbling up?
Well, what I will say is throughout the years, the sound always changes, right? When we go back to like my parents, my mom and my late dad, they was Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, The Temptations, you know what I mean? For me, it was Biggie, it was Nas, it was Wu-Tang, it was KRS-One, right? Then we fast forward to the younger generation, then it's Drake, you know what I mean? Big Sean, a lot of the new artists. Now it's like, Cash Cobain and Bass Swag. So as you can see throughout the years, the vibe, the energy, the sound changes. So I think it's just about understanding that it will always change. It will always evolve. Now, will it be everybody's cup of tea? Maybe not. So when we fast forward to the younger artists that are out right now doing their thing, this is their sound. This is their style. This is their swag. So for me, it's respect for all creatives because I understand what it is to be a creative and it comes from here. Sometimes everybody doesn't agree with it, but at the end of the day, it's all art form.
Asia, you cover lifestyle and you have to keep your finger and do keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening. Music is a big part of lifestyle too. What do you see going on now?
Music is becoming way more than just the songs we sing, okay? Like the it guys and girls of the industry, they're now really living up to the full definition of what it means to be an artist. And they're doing that, by giving us these ultra innovative visuals and specialty choreography and style guides and lifestyle brands. They're curating entire worlds right before our eyes. And in hip hop specifically, these artists are now expanding the genre's reach far beyond the four corners that society barely wanted to give it, in its infancy 50 years ago. These musicians are no longer just musicians. They're not content creators. They're culture creators. They're ethos influencers, and the globe is literally gobbling it up, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely. J1, you pitched a lot of new songs too, and hear a lot of new music. Give us a sense of what you see, because you're seeing it on the Sirius XM side, with all the different formats and music that you look at and cover and program, as well as with Pandora, the streaming service. Tell us what's going on from your point of view there.
Well, I think as the technology has gotten better, it's become easier to actually become an artist or put music out there. But because the barriers of entry are lower, there's more competition. So that's why you're seeing all these different sounds and styles develop, because you have more people that are able to create the music and put it out on platforms without a traditional label or machine behind them. And with the use of social media, they're able to get it out to the masses, or get it out to at least their niche audience of people that like that particular style of music. Like my brother Amadeus was saying, they're able to reach that person or that group that likes that cup of tea and really focus on them. And you're seeing an age where we're not seeing like a bunch of superstars, but you're seeing a lot of solid artists that are making good livings and selling out shows and really finding their niche audiences.
So you're saying we have more kind of micro stars now, as opposed to the ones from back in the day when there was just a handful of superstars?
Yeah, I mean, you're still seeing some superstars bud out, like shout to Glorilla, shout to Sexy Red, especially female artists. You're seeing those superstars still come out post-pandemic, but not like how it was before, where the label would identify somebody, do artist development, and say, okay, you're going to be that superstar. Now it's kind of wide open. The old gatekeepers are gone, and it's a whole new ball game.
To his point, it is wonderful that a lot of new artists can now just kind of jump right in both feet. They don't have to go through, a whole bunch of red tape. But at the same time, the downside to that skyrocket to the moon is that, we might not get the same quality of bodies of work that we used to get. We as millennials or Gen Zs, you can listen to the songs that your parents or your grandparents used to jam out to, and you could feel the vibes, you get the groove. It's classic. It's a song. These are songs that transcend times, like Michael Jackson and the names we've already named. But I don't know that our children and grandchildren are going to have the same kind of luxury when it comes to the music we're listening to now. I mean, I don't know that 50 years from now Pound Town is going to be the hit that it was, in 2024. So it's interesting to see how quickly music is changing and what's going to happen far down in the future for these classics.
Stay with us. We're back after this. Asia, a couple of the trends people have been we've been talking about for a while, but they just seem to show no letting go, not that they're losing any kind of steam, is the success of all these female artists that guys are even listening to. What do you make of that?
100%. And I mean, if we're going to talk about female artists, we have to talk about the queen, Beyonce.
Right.
And she's who I like cheekily call the whiz biz, or the whiz of the biz, really is her nickname for me. And I call her that in reference to The Wiz, the 1978 classic, because there's a scene in the movie where the Wiz, played by Richard Pryor, is kind of calling out the different colors of the moment. So he'll say, oh, green is the color of the second. Oh, wait, no, we changed it to red. Then it's, oh, wait, no, we couldn't be caught dead in red. We're going with yellow. And that's kind of Beyonce's effect here. That's the cachet she carries. Last year with Renaissance, she had the entire world wearing clothes that made everyone look like disco dominatrix. This year, everyone's dressing like Old MacDonald and strumming on the old banjo due to Cowboy Carter's success. I mean, she really does have her influence in every single area. She has hair care, she has fashion, she has music, obviously. And I think a lot of the up and coming girls are kind of following suit. And because they're able to make their big splash on Instagram and TikTok, people, the consumers, our listeners, fans, they're able to see themselves. So I do think that with Beyonce leading the charge, a lot of young girls who are in music are using it to their full advantage and making sure that not just the music, but also their style, their brand, their sound, their dance moves, their vibe, everything is being consumed and enjoyed by the masses.
J1, what do you think in terms of the women? Is this movement going to continue to grow, or is this just kind of a phase, do you think?
Oh no, it's going to continue to grow. I mean, I think it's here. I mean, I don't think you can really differentiate the women from the men at this point where it'd be like, oh, she's the dopest female artist. Nah, she's the dopest artist out right now. And I think it goes back to one of the points Asia made earlier in the previous segment is that what you see with female artists is they're willing to give more of themselves outside of the music, whether they're live streaming, they're doing things on social media, they're showing more of themselves and being more vulnerable than male artists tend to be. And Amadeus, you could correct me on this, but what I've also noticed is female artists are more receptive to collaborations when it comes to making the music, right? Traditionally in hip hop, it's like you have to write your own lyrics or it's not authentic. But that's the only genre where you really see that, whether it's R&B, country, pop, they all have people that help them write or write the songs for them. And what you'll see with female artists, even in hip hop, is they're more receptive to say, okay, we got these writers in here. We're going to collaborate and make these songs and make sure that they are hits.
Love that.
Amadeus, what about the collaboration thing? Because that's always been a big thing in hip hop, but is it kind of becoming irrelevant now?
No, collaboration will always be key. You know, as a producer, when I first came in the game, I always thought it was about what I can do, right? If I can do everything, if I can create the track by myself, right? But then, you know, you learn that the more people that's in the room, right? If there's all four of us in the room, that's four different views and ways and perspective to think, to have ideas. I love seeing the women win, right? Because we all know straight up, this is a very male-dominated business, right? We're talking music today, but when you think about the world, the world is a very male-dominant place, right? And fellas, whoever's tuned in, feel how you want to feel. There's nothing like a queen. There's nothing like a queen. There's nothing like the grace. There's nothing like the beauty. There's nothing like the elegance. There's nothing like the thought process, right? We can't do anything without them. Say what you want to say. Argue with your cat. There's no king without a queen. So the fact that women are in the forefront, the women are getting the flowers and the just due that they've been deserved a long time ago, I absolutely love to see it. And there's a lot of females that are on my bucket list that I love. I love Glorilla. I love Lotto. I love Meg Thee Stallion. I love Doja Cat. And these are all female artists that are on fire right now doing their thing that are on my bucket list, you know, that I would love to work alongside. So if y'all listening, get it in.
Well, country music is really big because of Cowboy Carter. But the trend, though, of country music getting a lot of new fans and followers, J1, are you seeing that in your world, your programming world?
Absolutely. I think country music is not our quote unquote thoughts or parents' country music. It's gotten a lot younger. It's starting to span across more genres. And then you're also seeing more artists of color coming back into country. When you see somebody like a Beyonce who won Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a full circle moment. You got somebody like a Shabuzi who's had, a song in the top 100 for God knows how long, but he brings out Jaquan at BET last year, and they had that collaborative moment to say, yeah, this is a country song, but this is where it came from. It came from hip hop, right? So I think with country, one, becoming younger, and you have more artists or more fans that are younger tapping into it, and two, it becoming more diverse as far as the look and the people that are actually making the country music. I mean, you have a group called Compton Cowboys who do country rap, who are from Compton, California, and ride around in horses and stuff.
Wow.
Asia, what is it about the country thing though that's really capturing our imagination, or that's making it so much fun?
Well, like Jay once said, it's a part of who we are. It's in our DNA. It's just been, pressed down and stuffed up and pushed away for a long time because certain members of that community didn't necessarily want us to be a part of it. They didn't want us to know that it's our history. So now we're kind of like coming out as like these formerly closeted country fans, and we're leaning into something that is rightfully ours. And we're like, wait a minute, no, this beat kicks. Or like, oh, wait, I could do the cowboy girl boots and shorts and like wow out. And I think that it's just a very freeing moment that we're having in music and again in fashion and a lot of different areas.
Amadeus, can you tell, like, are there certain signature sounds for country music or beats?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very guitar driven. You know, it's very good guitar driven. It's the enunciation. It's just its own swag. And I'm grateful. You know, one thing about life, like sometimes we pretend to know everything, right? And today I learned by Asian J1 that, the country music started from, our culture. I didn't know that, and I'm never been one to act or pretend like, nah, I really didn't know that. I thought it was us borrowing, from others. So, that just teaches me that and just gives me a whole different love and respect and appreciation, for the country genre. And it makes me kind of want to really tap in and give it a chance and really learn and appreciate what it's bringing to the table. So I thank you guys for educating those that are tuned in and myself, because I honestly didn't know that.
J1, the streaming services, are there different things being done to try to make listeners more loyal?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. With most streaming platforms, especially like a Pandora or others, it's about like how many subscribers or followers that are connected to your channel or your individual platform. So there's ways that you can use the tools to talk to your audience, to get messages out, right? On Pandora, we have tools that artists can promote their concerts or promote a tour and put links in messages where people can tap it and it'll send it right to the place to buy tickets. Or some artists have even used it for books that they've done. When Jeezy dropped his book, he did some audio messages and we were able to get them up on the platform. So like when people heard his music, a message would come on to say, "Yo, I appreciate all the love and support, yada, yada, yada. I just dropped a book, tap the link right now to check it out and get more information." So those are just some small ways that we have made available to artists so they can touch their fans not only with their music but just with other things that they have going on.
Asia Grace, as you look forward, are we still going to be so much in love with the whole cowboy thing?
I think that as the tour dates near, we're going to get more and more excited, but there's always trends popping up on social media. And yes, Beyonce is the queen, but then you have the Cardi B's and the Nicki's and the up and comers, everyone's kind of out there putting out their vibes and people are picking them up. And when it comes to music, all it really takes is for some soundbite, some little snappy soundbite to go viral on TikTok or Instagram Reels, and you're king of the hill. And whatever you're doing now, the rest of the world is doing. So it really does move the culture, and it really is a fun and exciting time to be a music lover, a fashion girly, and just someone who's really immersed in this lifestyle that we are all kind of just taking in.
Amadeus, what should we be on the lookout for, do you think?
Man, just people enjoying themselves, people just creating, just creating from their heart and soul, right? I always felt like as creatives, you create from your point of view, right? There's no real right or wrong way to do it. There's, we can follow guidelines, we can follow steps, we can be influenced by others, but at the end of the day, it's from, our perspective. So when I speak on behalf of the creators, that's why I'm so open and open to what creativity is and some of these songs. Like I said earlier, we have a choice in regards to the tea we sip. You know what I mean? So you don't have to sip every flavor tea. Some tea is for you and some aren't. But at the end of the day, me being a creative, I know all of what it takes to create music from scratch and to create something from nothing. So, much love and respect to all of the creators out there. As long as you're doing it for the right why, You know what I mean? As long as you're doing it for a great reason and wanting to share your gifts and talents with the world, not for all of the other things that you think you want, the riches, the fame, the glory, because sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. But if your heart is in the right place and you're doing it for love and passion, you know, the world could be endless to you. So looking forward to everything that everybody brings, you know, to the table.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on music's changing landscape. You can watch it again on our Fox 5 NY YouTube page and the Fox Local app. Remember, use your mind as your best weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace, love, and justice for all.